She said it was a mating emergency and appeared in my bed without clothes. The space station floated silently above the planet, its massive solar arrays glinting in the light of a distant sun. Adrian's lab smelled faintly of metal and alien soil, a mixture that had become oddly comforting over the months. He liked his routine: study alien species, record data, eat nutrient packs, and sleep in the small but cozy quarters the station offered. Predictable life suited him. That morning, Adrian was hunched over a microscope, observing a colony of tiny fluorescent creatures that seemed to rearrange themselves in patterns depending on his presence. He was noting their behavior in a log when the alarm in his quarters blared, a sharp, urgent tone that made him jolt upright. "What now?" he muttered, rubbing his eyes. He had learned to never ignore alarms, but most were either false positives or reminders about routine maintenance. He left the lab and hurried through the narrow corridors. The station's walls gleamed with white panels, punctuated by flashing indicators. His heart thumped nervously as he approached his quarters. The door's display flashed red. "Emergency, biohazard." Adrian hesitated. "Biohazard in my own room? That's new." He reached for the door handle and paused, taking a deep breath. Slowly, he opened it and froze. There, sitting on his bed, was Lyra. She was humanoid, vaguely human in shape, but every inch of her skin shimmered in shifting colors: greens, blues, and faint purples that moved like liquid. Her eyes were wide silver, with a strange intensity that made Adrian's chest tighten. And yes, she was completely without clothes, but it wasn't the same as a human nakedness. It was as if her body had never needed them. The colors and patterns she displayed seemed to serve as communication in her species. "Adrian," she said, her voice quivering like a bell. "You have to help me, it's a mating emergency." Adrian blinked. He had read about her species in the station's database, the Veyari. They were known for dramatic mating displays, but this was far beyond any documented behavior. A mating emergency," he stammered. "In my bed." Lyra's colors flickered violently, from deep red to bright yellow, and Adrian suddenly felt like he was staring at a live warning signal. "Yes, you're needed. The cycle is misfiring. The pheromones won't stabilize. I need human intervention." Adrian's brain spun. Human intervention, pheromones, misfiring mating cycles. He had studied alien biology, but this was absurd and dangerous, well, potentially. He glanced at the room. There were no visible hazards, but the neon glow from Lyra's skin made his quarters look like a psychedelic nightmare. "Okay," he said slowly, "slow down. Can you explain what's going on in words I can understand?" Lyra's skin shifted to a calmer blue. "It's complicated. Our reproductive cycle is biological, emotional, and your human biology is compatible in a stabilizing function." Adrian raised an eyebrow. "Compatible, stabilizing function. Are you saying you need me to, mate with you?" Her eyes widened in panic and the room exploded in flickering colors. "No, not in the way you think. It's a biochemical signal. I need your presence, your natural pheromones, your essence. Please, you're the only one here." Adrian swallowed hard. He had faced aggressive predators, toxic plants, and even malfunctioning AI bots, but nothing had ever made him feel this utterly unprepared. He stepped back, hands raised in defense. "Okay, presence, pheromones, essence. I can help with the essence, I guess, but we need a plan. Let's not just panic." And before he could finish, Lyra jumped up, skittering toward him in a blur of color. Adrian flinched. Her skin shimmered in alarm signals, and he realized the station's AI had started beeping frantically. The monitors outside his quarters flashed warnings: "Biohazard containment activated." "Oh no," Adrian muttered. "You triggered the station alarms. Calm down, Lyra. We need to solve this." Lyra's colors faded to a soft green, indicating stress relief, but her eyes remained anxious. "I don't know how," she admitted. "If I don't stabilize now, the cycle will fail. My people, they rely on this to survive." Adrian's scientific mind kicked in. Okay, step 1, tell me exactly what triggers the emergency. Step 2, we figure out a controlled environment so you don't set off the entire station. Lyra hesitated. Then she lifted her hands, palms glowing faintly. The signal must be synchronized. Human pheromones, presence, and visual focus all aligned. It's delicate. If misaligned, the cycle becomes chaotic. Adrian took a deep breath. He felt like he had just been thrown into a live experiment with no manual. So, I'm your stabilizer, he said. Yes, Lyra said, colors flickering bright. Exactly, you're my stabilizer, Adrian groaned. I didn't sign up for being a living stabilizer, but okay, let's do this scientifically. He grabbed a tablet and started jotting notes. First, I need to understand your physiology. No touching yet, no close contact. Let's observe. Can you demonstrate what you need while I take measurements? Lyra's colors pulsed nervously, but she complied. She stood at the foot of the bed, her body shimmering in complex patterns, releasing faint pheromone clouds. Adrian pulled a small sensor from his pocket and waved it gently through the cloud. Numbers began flashing, chemical levels, temperature, and stress indicators. This is extraordinary, Adrian muttered, jotting data. Your signals are way more sensitive than anything I expected. Lyra shifted to a calm purple. Yes, it's stressful. They spent the next hour experimenting with controlled exposure. Adrian moved around the room, talking calmly, focusing his own scent and presence while Lyra adjusted her signals. Every time they got close to alignment, her colors glowed brighter, almost like fireworks, and Adrian felt a strange mix of awe and anxiety. At one point, a puff of her pheromones made the station AI panic again, and Adrian had to jump over a console to avoid a security lockdown. Lyra giggled, a melodic alien sound, and the neon colors softened. You humans are funny, she said. So slow yet clever. Adrian shook his head. You're glowing, I'm panicking, the AI is screaming, funny is one word for it. Hours passed, and slowly they began to synchronize. Adrian learned to maintain his calm presence, control his breathing, and focus his attention where Lyra indicated. Her emergency signals gradually stabilized, flickering less violently, glowing a steady, soft blue. Finally, she collapsed onto the bed, exhausted but calm. It worked, the cycle is stable, you did it. Adrian slumped against the wall, trying to catch his own breath. We did it, I think. He glanced at the tablet. The readings confirmed it, everything was within normal ranges. Lyra's species' mating cycle was no longer in emergency mode. She turned to him, a soft glow emanating from her body. I owe you my life, Adrian chuckled weakly. Well, technically, you owe your species survival, but yes, I guess you owe me. Lyra tilted her head. We will remember you. Humans are remarkable. Adrian smiled despite his exhaustion. That was the HFY part, he thought. Humans may be small, messy, and confused sometimes, but they adapt. They think. They solve problems, even when the universe throws something completely insane at them. He sat back, looking at the glowing alien on his bed. You know, he said slowly, next time maybe just send a message instead of appearing like a neon fire alarm in my room. Lyra's colors flickered like laughter. Next time, I will try. And for the first time since he had arrived on Nova Terra, Adrian felt that life aboard the station might be full of chaos, but also full of possibilities. And somehow he wouldn't have it any other way. The room was quiet now, except for the faint hum of the station's life support systems. Lyra lay on the bed, her glowing colors slowly fading to a calm, deep blue. Adrian sat in the corner, staring at the data tablet, still trying to process what had just happened. He shook his head. I can't believe this. A mating emergency, and I was the stabilizer. Who even thinks of a human as a solution to alien reproduction chaos? Lyra's silver eyes opened and fixed on him. Your biology, your presence, it is unique. Humans have resilience, adaptability. Logic combined with emotion, it is effective. Adrian raised an eyebrow. Resilience, huh? Or maybe I'm just panicking really well. She tilted her head, her skin flickering with soft purple hues. You are amusing but effective. Adrian leaned back, rubbing his temples. Effective, sure, but what about the rest of your species? You said this was an emergency for them all. How many others are in trouble? Lyra's expression darkened and her glow dimmed slightly. Several. The cycle, it is unstable for many of my kind. They rely on precise synchronization. If humans are not involved soon, complications will arise. Adrian swallowed. Complications meaning. Lyra's eyes widened, then she exhaled slowly. Decline, possible failure to reproduce, entire populations at risk. Adrian's stomach sank. That's serious. So this isn't just a personal emergency, it's a species-level emergency. Lyra nodded, her colors flickering between blue and green. Yes, and you are uniquely able to help. Your species' chemical signals are compatible. Humans can stabilize us. Adrian blinked. Great, just what I wanted. Humanity's first big responsibility, save an alien species mating cycle. Lyra giggled softly, the colors brightening again. You are dramatic, but yes, you can help. Adrian groaned and rubbed his face. Okay, step 1, you need a plan. Step 2, I need training. I can't exactly wing this again. Lyra's eyes sparkled. Training is possible. You must learn to maintain calm, focus your presence, control your essence. All must align precisely. Adrian paused. All must align precisely. You just make it sound easier each time. They spent the next few hours designing a controlled experiment. Adrian used the station's lab equipment to create a small chamber where Lyra could safely emit her pheromones without triggering alarms. He set up sensors, monitors, and containment fields. He even drafted a protocol sheet with step-by-step instructions on how to regulate the signals. Lyra studied it carefully, her colors shifting as she analyzed. This will work, she said finally. If followed precisely. Adrian nodded. Good. Because last time precisely included my panicking, the station AI going haywire, and you almost lighting the room like a festival. Lyra's colors flickered in amusement. True, but you adapted. Humans are clever. Adrian smirked. Thank you, I try. The next day, Adrian began training. He practiced maintaining calm while Lyra emitted controlled pheromone pulses. The first attempts were chaotic. The AI started beeping, sensors went off, and Lyra's colors flashed like a fireworks show. Adrian had to jump over consoles and dodge small clouds of alien chemicals. By noon, he was exhausted. Lyra, however, was still glowing, although her colors were calmer now. You are improving, she said. Faster than expected. Adrian groaned. Improving, sure. My nerves, not so much. Do Veyari not get tired? Lyra's colors shifted to a soft lavender. We do, but stress is necessary. It is part of the cycle. Your presence, it is stabilizing but also stimulating. It accelerates adaptation. Adrian blinked. So my panic actually helps, Lyra tilted her head. In small doses, but you must regulate it. Adrian rubbed his forehead. Great, so calm but not too calm, panic but controlled, got it. They laughed together, an unusual sound in the quiet lab. For the first time, Adrian felt that despite the absurdity, the situation had a rhythm. The chaos had order. Alien biology and human ingenuity were starting to mesh. By mid-afternoon, they were ready for a full-scale test. Adrian guided Lyra into the specially designed chamber. The room was softly lit, sensors humming, containment fields active. Remember, Adrian said, calm, focus, alignment. Lyra nodded. Her skin glowed a steady blue, signaling readiness. Adrian took a deep breath. He tried to focus all his attention on her, maintaining the calm presence she needed. He concentrated on breathing slowly, visualizing stability, trying not to think about the glowing neon colors swirling around him. The first pulse went smoothly. Lyra's glow matched the rhythm of his presence. Numbers on the sensors indicated stable pheromone output. Adrian allowed himself a small smile, but then, suddenly, a sharp alarm blared. A small spike in pheromones triggered the AI again. Adrian jumped back, knocking over a monitor. Lyra's colors flickered violently. "Stop! Control it!" Adrian shouted. Lyra inhaled deeply, trying to regain composure. "I am adjusting. Please remain calm." Adrian exhaled slowly, focusing again. He reminded himself, humans solve problems under pressure. He concentrated, not letting panic take over. Slowly, the spike normalized. The sensors showed the system was stable again. "You see," Lyra said, her colors settling into a soft teal. "Your human logic, it works. Even under chaos." Adrian wiped sweat from his forehead. "I'm just glad it didn't blow up the whole station." Lyra tilted her head, her eyes glimmering. "Perhaps you underestimate humans. You are remarkable." Adrian felt a warmth in his chest. That was the essence of HFY, he thought. Humanity wasn't the strongest, the fastest, or the most advanced. But humans had adaptability, intelligence, and courage. And in moments like this, those traits made them capable of saving lives, even alien lives. The next week was filled with repeated tests, minor adjustments, and growing camaraderie. Adrian learned the nuances of controlling his presence: small gestures, calm breathing, subtle pheromone cues. Lyra learned to regulate her signals to avoid overwhelming him or the station's systems. One afternoon, after a particularly successful session, Adrian collapsed in a chair. Lyra floated nearby, glowing softly, her eyes bright. "You are improving faster than expected," she said. Adrian laughed. "I think I'm starting to get the hang of this, and maybe you're starting to relax too." Lyra's colors shifted to soft green, the Veyari equivalent of a content psi. "Yes, I am grateful. Your presence, it is stabilizing." Adrian shook his head. "I just didn't expect to spend my days stabilizing alien mating cycles, but I guess it's never boring here." Lyra's eyes sparkled. "Never boring indeed." Suddenly, an alert flashed on Adrian's tablet. A new signal appeared, originating from another part of the station. It was a Veyari, one of Lyra's kin. The emergency had spread. Several others were unstable and they required immediate stabilization. Adrian groaned. "Oh no, it's multiplying. Great." Lyra's glow brightened. "We must go. You are the only one who can help. Your human adaptability is required." Adrian took a deep breath. "All right, Team Human and Veyari, round two. Let's save the rest of your species before the AI decides to lock us all out for good." They hurried down the corridor, Lyra floating beside him, her glow lighting the way. Adrian carried his tablet, sensors, and containment devices, ready to extend their system to other Veyari in distress. As they approached the first chamber, Adrian paused. "You know, this is insane. Entire alien species relying on one human, but somehow I feel like I can do this." Lyra glanced at him, her silver eyes reflecting trust. "You can. Humans are remarkable, and you are remarkable." Adrian smiled faintly, feeling the weight of responsibility, but also the thrill of challenge. This was what it meant to be human in the galaxy, to think, adapt, and act when the universe demanded it. And so, with a mix of nerves, determination, and curiosity, Adrian stepped into the next chamber. The glow of the alien's body, the hum of the sensors, the flickering lights, all became part of a strange, beautiful dance. One human and one alien working together to save a species. Adrian realized something profound. Sometimes, the universe didn't need strength or firepower. It needed thinking, patience, and humanity. And he had all three. Lyra's glow pulsed in harmony with his breathing. Adrian's heart steadied. The next phase of the emergency began. This time, he felt ready. The corridor of Nova Terra's space station hummed with energy as Adrian and Lyra made their way to the next chamber. Sensors in hand, Adrian tried to calm his racing thoughts. His body was still sore from hours of dodging pheromone clouds. leaping over consoles and reacting to the station's panicked alarms. But his mind was sharper than ever. "This is it," Adrian said, adjusting his tablet. "The last group, right?" Lyra floated slightly above the floor, her soft blue glow illuminating the corridor. "Yes, these individuals are critical. If they are not stabilized, the entire colony's reproductive cycle could collapse. You are humanity's savior today." Adrian sighed. "Humanity's savior. Don't you think that's a little dramatic?" Lyra's silver eyes sparkled. "Not dramatic, accurate. Humans are remarkable, and you are extraordinary." Adrian shook his head. "Extraordinary or terrified, there's a fine line." Lyra's glow pulsed in amusement. "Perhaps both." They reached the chamber, a larger room lined with containment fields. Several Veyari floated inside, their colors flickering wildly, greens and reds and oranges mixing chaotically. The sight was overwhelming. Even Adrian, who had grown used to alien biochemistry, felt a pang of anxiety. "Okay," Adrian said, taking a deep breath, "let's not panic. Step 1, survey the situation. Step 2, apply the stabilization protocol. Step 3, survive." Lyra's glow brightened. "Yes, that is correct, but we must move quickly." Adrian started with the first Veyari, a female named Yara. Her colors shifted violently, a sign of extreme stress. Adrian positioned the sensors around her and instructed her to focus on his presence, his breathing, and the subtle pheromone cues he could emit naturally. At first, nothing seemed to work. The AI monitors flashed red again, alarms beeped, and Yara's colors exploded in chaotic patterns. Adrian panicked momentarily, unsure if his human essence was enough. But then he remembered what had worked with Lyra: calm, focus, consistency. He took a deep breath. He visualized stability, imagined his presence as a steady anchor. Slowly, Yara's colors began to calm, shifting to steady blues and greens. The AI alarmed less, and the readings on the tablet began to normalize. "See," Lyra said softly, "your presence works." Adrian exhaled, relief washing over him. "Okay, 1 down, 7 to go." They moved systematically from one Veyari to another, each time adjusting their positions, the timing of pheromone exposure and Adrian's focus. Some individuals required more attention, others responded quickly. Adrian learned to anticipate their needs, reading the subtle flickers of color and body language that indicated stress or calm. By the midpoint, Adrian was exhausted but exhilarated. Lyra floated beside him, her glow steady and serene now. "You are remarkable. I underestimated the depth of human capability." Adrian chuckled weakly. "Underestimate me again and I'll remind you of the first chamber." Lyra's skin flickered with amusement. "Point taken." Then a sudden alarm blared. One of the Veyari, a male named Kiro, had become highly agitated. His colors shifted violently, bright reds, sharp oranges, and the containment field pulsed in warning. Adrian rushed to stabilize him. "Focus," he shouted, trying to remain calm himself. "Focus," Kiro thrashed, his glow blending into a chaotic storm. Adrian had to use all his training: slow, steady breathing, calm pheromone projection, and unwavering presence. Lyra guided him with her soft humming tones, her glow pulsing in harmony with his efforts. After tense minutes that felt like hours, Kairo's colors finally settled, fading into a calm teal. The alarm stopped, and the monitors indicated stability. Adrian slumped in relief. "Good job," Lyra said softly, floating near him. "You are extraordinary," Adrian laughed. "I feel more like a very tired miracle worker." Lyra's skin shimmered in soft blue laughter. "Perhaps both are true. Humans often underestimate themselves, but you are remarkable." By the evening, all Veyari were stabilized. Their glowing colors now pulsed softly, indicating normal reproductive cycles. Adrian sat on a chair, exhausted but satisfied. Lyra floated nearby, her glow calm and steady. "You did it," she said simply. "The emergency is over." Adrian leaned back. "We did it." I mean, you guided me, I contributed, we make a good team. Lyra's silver eyes softened. Indeed, this collaboration demonstrates the value of humans. Your adaptability, patience, and creativity, it is unmatched. Adrian smiled faintly, feeling the warmth of pride. That was what he loved about humanity, the ability to solve problems, even in the most bizarre circumstances. Humans weren't the strongest, the fastest, or the most technologically advanced, but they could think, adapt, and act when it mattered most. That ingenuity had saved an entire species today. Lyra floated closer. You have earned my trust, and the trust of my people. Humans are remarkable, and so are you. Adrian blinked, unsure how to respond. Well, thank you, I think. Lyra's skin shimmered, displaying a cascade of gentle colors. Their meaning in Vayari culture was equivalent to deep gratitude and respect. It is sincere. As the night fell over Nova Terra, Adrian reflected on the events of the past days. A bizarre alien emergency had thrown him into chaos, yet through calm reasoning, careful observation, and human ingenuity, he had helped save a species. He realized that being human meant more than survival or curiosity. It meant empathy, problem-solving, and courage in the face of uncertainty. The next morning, the station crew gathered to hear reports. Scientists from the Vayari species sent messages of thanks, their data confirming the stabilization of all critical reproductive cycles. Adrian became a minor hero, not for strength or battle, but for thought, patience, and cleverness. Lyra visited him one last time before returning to her people. Her skin glowed in a soft, comforting pattern. You have changed perception. Humans are more capable than we expected. Your species is remarkable, and you are extraordinary, Adrian smiled. I'm glad I could help. But next time maybe send a message instead of appearing in my bed neon glowing. Lyra tilted her head, shimmering in a pattern that conveyed amusement. Next time, I will consider that, Adrian laughed. Good, because I think I've had enough excitement for 1 year. Lyra's colors shifted to a soft blue. Perhaps, but the galaxy often has other plans. Humans will adapt. That is remarkable. Adrian leaned back, watching her glow fade as she departed to her people. He felt a sense of fulfillment, pride, and wonder. He had faced chaos, confusion, and a literal alien emergency, and had prevailed through calm thinking, observation, and cooperation. He thought of the colony below, the distant stars, and the infinite possibilities the universe held. Humanity had survived, adapted, and thrived once again. And today, in a small corner of Nova Terra, a human had reminded an entire alien species why humans were special. Adrian closed his eyes and smiled. Life in space could be chaotic, absurd, and even dangerous, but it was also brilliant, unpredictable, and full of opportunities to show what humans could do. And he, like every human, was capable of rising to the challenge. He glanced at the tablet one last time, seeing the stable signals, the soft, pulsing lights of a species saved. A small laugh escaped him. Who knew a mating emergency could be so enlightening? Lyra's final message blinked across the screen. You are extraordinary, human. Never forget it, Adrian chuckled. I won't, and neither will anyone else, especially not me. The station was quiet now, the emergency over. Adrian felt exhausted but alive. He had survived chaos, collaborated across species, and learned the true power of humanity. In the infinite void of space, humans might be small, but they were capable of extraordinary things. And somewhere above Nova Terra, a species glowed softly, safe because one human had chosen to think, act, and care when it mattered most. Adrian leaned back in his chair, looking out at the stars. The universe was vast, strange, and unpredictable, but humans were ready for it.